Take you back to last Saturday. The Dean Dome was rocking as North Carolina honored its 1957 and 1982 national championship teams. Billy, this was special.
Well, Timmy, it's the kind of thing that you would love to say you were here. I know you were. The tears in the eyes of those guys that came back had to be very special. What a moment of history.
It really was. And the fans here enjoyed it. The players enjoyed it. It was just a spectacular day at the Dean Dome. Tim Brandt and Billy Packer with you, all set to go. It's Virginia Tech with a 17-7 record, 7-3 in conference. North Carolina 22-3, 8-2 in the conference, and ranked number 4. The officials, Jamie Luckey, J.B. Caldwell, and Curtis Shaw, are underway, and the Hokies will have it first.
Freshmen against experienced guards. It'll be very interesting to see if Virginia Tech can pick up where they left off in Blacksburg, getting off to a good start with great guard play.
Collins with the turnaround. Gordon with the jumper, and he draws iron. Ahead to Hansbrough. Hansbrough again. And the foul. Here's a look at our Food Lions starting lineups for Virginia Tech. Washington, Wisher, Collins, Gordon, and Dowdell 1 month ago today combined for 40 points against these Tar Heels. Terry, Wright, Hansbrough, who was just fouled, he'll go to the line. Lawson and Ellington. Lawson, the 5'11", terrific year.
Hansbrough again showing what it's like for a big man that can run the floor and finish on the break. I realize he didn't score on that break, but you really have to get back against this young guy who goes to the line more than anybody else in the ACC.
205 times now he's shot that ball from the free throw line. He shoots 76%, and it's 1-0 Tar Heels. Billy, take us through the 4 keys of the game tonight.
Well, a couple of things that jump out at you. Obviously, the key to this ball game in terms of the X factor for Virginia Tech. Will somebody other than the guards score? And Washington and Vasallo have done that job for Virginia Tech. Handle the pressure. That's the job for the backcourt, the freshman backcourt of North Carolina. They've got to get their team oriented inside early.
This is a team that has road-weary legs as they bank it in, and Collins is on the board, and it's 2-1 Virginia Tech.
Good second ever by Richard to get that ball up.
Six of their last 9 games have been on the road for Virginia Tech. Talking to Seth Greenberg this afternoon, he says, boy, they're not happy being on the road, but they have been somewhat successful. The turnover here. Terry for 3.
You can see Virginia Tech wanting to run the ball. They don't want stationary. Good push off by Collins inside.
There's Collins.
It was very subtle, but he got by with a push off. Hansborough's upper body moved him out of the way.
Really, in that game at Castle Coliseum a month ago, Carolina got out to the 17-9 lead early. Seth Greenberg said they can't do that tonight. They need early success. Here's Lawson.
Nice decision that time by Gordon. But Ellen broken, but Gordon was able to see out of the corner of his eye that Ellington was back for the interception.
Kick it back out to Washington.
Another push off. That one is caught.
So Witcher picks up his first.
You see Collins getting down the low post. Now watch this little subtle push off. There it is. He holds his man, pushes off at the last second. No opportunity whatsoever. No call by the official. Very subtle move by Collins.
Virginia Tech out to a 4-1 lead. 17:35 to play in the first half. Ellington.
Nice square up. Doesn't hit. So far, Virginia Tech, which has got a great rebounding team. Some pass.
Nice pass to Collins, and it's blocked.
Thompson with the block, but that was some pass. Beautiful crossover.
Tough shot and the foul. Good penetration by Ellington.
In that first ball game, Virginia Tech only had 11 turnovers. North Carolina 17. North Carolina, despite the fact that they were blown out in the game early and then made the great comeback, They out-rebounded Virginia Tech 47-33. And when you look at these two teams, North Carolina number 1 in the ACC in rebound margin, Virginia Tech number 12 at a minus .03. So there should be a huge advantage for North Carolina in that regard.
That was a look at your principal financial scores of other games. The foul was on Jamon Gordon. And Ellington misses the first. 78% free throw shooter. It's a rare miss at the line.
Well, the stroke that this young man has, you would assume that he can border on, and I bet you before he gets out of North Carolina, he'll border on being a 90% free throw shooter. Because with that stroke, it's just a matter of concentration.
Nothing but net that time. It's a 2-point game. Carolina 0 for 6 from the field.
Good dip.
And there he is again with the rebound. Kicks it back out. Gordon shot way too strong.
Rebounding has been tremendous by Virginia Tech.
Jakite puts it back for the bucket. So Jakite is in the box score, and it's a 6-2 lead for the Hokies.
One of the things about Virginia Tech, they can go deep in their lineup as well, just like North Carolina. So there will not be that huge advantage in regard to stamina.
Thompson couldn't handle the pass inside. Dowdell for 3.
Funny pull-up.
On the baseline.
Another offensive rebound.
And they lose ball out of bounds.
5 offensive rebounds for Virginia Tech. As I mentioned, number 12 in the ACC in rebounding, doing a terrific job early on the boards.
Seth Greenberg wanted a quick start, and he's getting it. Roy Williams is really hot.
He is going early to that bench, isn't he?
Well, he also threw the ball, Billy. I thought he'd get a technical. He was really hot.
Well, one of the things that would jump out at him is the fact that his team is not rebounding. When you start talking about a lack of effort early on, rebounding would certainly be a telltale sign.
5-2 Tech in that category. Lawson trying to set the offense. Hansbrough will take it into the paint with a turnaround jumper and hit it.
Good decision by Hansbrough. He had the jumper, felt he could get something a little easier, and did. Ducati really gave him a lot of room. You can't give Hansbrough that kind of room inside 15, 12 feet.
This is Gordon for 2. Bang!
Pretty clean, huh?
They don't back off, do they?
Nope. Well, you're looking at a lot of experience on the floor right now for Virginia Tech.
Just a layup. Dowdell, you don't see that very often.
No, that's the second layup he's missed. Very uncharacteristic.
Lawson for 3. There's Ellington. Well, they almost threw it away.
Good save.
Ty Lawson with the save.
Great hustle. I didn't think there was any way he'd get to that one, too.
Shot clock at 20. Ellington, and one more. Tough shot and made it go. Roy Williams lit a fire under him, and the Tar Heels are making a run.
Or choose 0% financing for 60 months at your local Ford dealer.
8-6, but Carolina now, Billy, they're pushing the ball hard. And here's Ellington.
This is quite a shot that he makes because it basically was a block shot, and he still had the strength to get it up there. The young man who had the sensational game here against Ohio State, which was one of the most interesting games of the entire year. The 2 incredible recruiting classes going head-to-head. 19 points on his 19th birthday, but that was as tough a shot as I've seen him make.
So Ellington goes to the line, a 78% free throw shooter.
He has really been looking for a shot this ball game and been getting it.
Roy Williams is known for his fast tempo transition offense, but Virginia Tech outscored the Heels 19-7 on fast break points earlier this season. And Tech's reserves outscored UNC's bench 36-23. Here's Dowdell. Nice pass inside. Virginia Tech leaves it out of bounds off the foot of Basayo. Virginia Tech really getting good looks.
Yeah, they are. You know, Tim, that's a technique that I'm surprised coaches don't work on. When a guy's going for the ball out of bounds, the fellas that are standing inbound should be low like a catcher, so that there's a small target to throw the ball off you, and if they throw it to you, you're down in a position to catch it, instead of straight up where the ball can be thrown off your legs.
They jump Lawson as he picks up his dribble. Sean Terry. Shot clock at 10.
Nice hands.
Thompson's turnaround is too hard.
Both teams doing a nice job looking inside first instead of settling for the outside jump shot. And with their ability to score inside with their big men, it's a good move.
Bobby Frazier comes in for Ty Lawson as Lawson gets his first break. Will Williams not afraid to go deep on this ball club.
And here's Ginyard on Dowdell. Ginyard, a very versatile defender. Can handle just about any size player on the perimeter.
Basayo. And Dowdell is fouled by Terry. That's 2 on Terry.
And if Terry had let him alone, Ginyard did a tremendous job fighting through that screen. He was right with him. Dowdell's going to sit down for the first time.
Look at the field goal percentage for the season, 55%. Tonight just 2 of 10.
And Virginia Tech has had some terrific games from a field goal shooting percentage this year. Over 55 and approaching 60% on some of their key wins.
But it's early. 13:35 to play in the first half.
You see Ginyard, the Dowdell out of the game goes to Gordon.
Shot clock at 10. Gordon penetrates. Throws it away. Last touch, though, I believe, by Stevenson. Our Chevrolet Stars of the Week in the conference are Jared Dudley of Boston College, the Rookie of the Week. Javaris Crittenden of Georgia Tech, who makes some outstanding decisions for a young freshman. For information, go to lfsports.com. Jared Dudley having a terrific season.
Well, without question. I think he has to be the player of the year in the ACC based on his performance so far.
That foul on Hansbrough.
White 50, trip.
And that young man, Brandon Wright, has got 6-time ACC Rookie of the Week. So he leads in that department and more than likely will be the Rookie of the Year in the ACC. And surprisingly did not get one single vote preseason for Rookie of the Year.
He also leads the ACC in field goal percentage. Very smart player.
Look at Ginyard guard somebody. They call that a foul at the end. But watch him stay with Sales. He gets beat on the original push, catches up, has all ball, gets called for the foul. He cannot believe it.
Billy Stevenson goes out for North Carolina. Wright comes in. Sales goes out for Virginia Tech. And Nigel Munson comes in. He's the young freshman from DeMatha High School in Hyattsville.
Both teams revolving door policy. Here we're only a little over 6 minutes into this ball game.
Jakite goes out. Zayo comes back in.
Dangerous pass.
Here's Gordon. Stops and fires and hits for 2.
Second outstanding pull-up jumper by Gordon.
Frazier behind his back, didn't accomplish much there. Inside they go. Tough jumper. Virginia Tech will run. Gordon left side to Washington. He pulls up too strong.
That's a good fast break, though. It's 3-on-2. Decent shot. You got to take it.
And Frazier is fouled by Basayo.
Referees are calling the ball game very close. And you've got to be aware of that as a player.
Tuck him in. Let's go.
Fortunately, neither of these teams can get in a lot of foul trouble.
Take a look at our principal financial scores of other games. A&M now has come back. 15:49 to play in that ball game. Butler leading.
Well, we've heard so much about Butler all year long. They're in second place in their league. Wright State now in first place. Butler, a team that looks like they could even fight for a second line position in the NCAA tournament.
I'll tell you a team, Billy, I don't know if you've seen them yet in the ACC area. Virginia Commonwealth is a terrific ball club.
Yep.
10-7 Virginia Tech.
Miller, a pretty good defender against the dribble as well.
Now, Munson against Boston College, when they crowded him, he had some problems. Here's Gordon. It's the 3-ball, and it's good by Vasallo.
Doesn't surprise you, young man. An excellent outside shooter. This year shooting 45% from 3.
Right with a tough, strong move.
Not to be stopped that close to the basket. Again, the break working. Beautiful
Foul
job
by Washington.
North Carolina back on their heels a little bit with a team that's breaking against them the way they like to break themselves.
Virginia Tech overplaying on defense. They double down on Hansbrough. Boy, he battles, doesn't he?
You know, they probably were better off not stripping him of the ball because he had nowhere to go. But when he got that loose ball, he is so strong inside.
Hansbrough with 5 points.
There's push off again by Collins. Second time he got by with it. Hansbrough gets the call.
That's Hansbrough's second. 25 years of covering the Atlantic Coast Conference. Oh, is it fun to be here tonight. Virginia Tech leading by 4, 11-11 to play in the first half. Back inside. Virginia Tech 7 baskets from 6 different players. Teron Washington and A.D. Vasallo have scored the last 2 buckets. Bill, and you talked about the X factor.
Well, they have been outstanding all year long against Virginia. They both had 22 points. Washington 22 points, 10 rebounds. Vasallo with his terrific outside shooting led the way in a very solid victory, stopping Virginia's 7-game run.
Washington with 7 rebounds, ready in this game. 6 different guys have scored for Tech. Carolina only right. Hansbrough and Ellington are in the box score. Collins a little too strong. There's Washington. Great save.
Now, did the ball hit the rim? They're looking if they get whether or not they're going to go ahead and get a new reset.
Never touched.
That was some save by Washington and a great catch by Vasallo on the outside as well. And here you have Virginia Tech with the lead. Dowdell, who had his streak of double-figure games stopped at 36, doesn't have a point. That's a pretty good sign for Virginia Tech. He's back in the game now.
They only had 5 points against Virginia. Here's Washington. So they put 24 on the shot clock. It didn't matter. Thompson with the jumper. Yes.
Young man can really score. I realize he's had limited minutes this year, but very productive with the ball.
Big body, too. 6'8", 245-pound freshman. Here's Vasallo again. Nicely done on the base.
Beautiful screen. Took Greenberg right out of the play.
17-13 Tech. This is Lawson.
Nice pump. Wright did not seal his man on the inside. Had he had it, he had a layup.
Nice pass by Lawson. Join the Mania, ACC fans. You could win up to $100,000 plus hundreds of other great prizes. To enter Alltel's My Circle Mania sweepstakes, text HOOPS to 84353 or visit mycirclemania.com.
Roy Williams screaming at Lawson, telling him to take the jump shot.
Gordon's doing a nice job on Lawson. Shot clock's at 5. He's got to go now. Shot clock at 2.
Still alive and good block out by Richard.
Not a great possession by the Tar Heels. Dowdell looks a little out of sync, even handling the ball. Collins on the baseline.
Richard doing the job.
And Richard fouled. Foul will be on Dean Thompson, I believe.
And Collins has gotten himself in a lot of nice positions to score, but he can't finish when he gets down in there.
Virginia Tech so far dominating the boards. Getting opportunities off of him.
You know, it is really hard to believe, but then when you look at it, this year they've been out-rebounded by 8 rebounds by their opponent for the season. You look at this club, they've got guards that are experienced, know how to have floor balance. They have big men that can go up and get solid rebounds, and they've got depth off the bench. Hard to believe that they would be out-rebounded.
Witcher's not a very good free throw shooter normally, but he hits both of those.
Really nice hedging by Virginia Tech on the outside.
Wright gets it back to Lawson.
Again, a terrific switch by the big guys from Virginia Tech.
Again, the shot clock's at 10. This is Ellington.
Pretty good half-court defense there.
Well, you bet it is, and the fans here are a little bit uneasy at the Dean Dome. Dowdell hits a little running one-hander. His first bucket, and there's Tech's largest lead.
They're not going to keep him down long. Wright needs to be closer to the basket. Setting screens out here and not effective.
Lawson, Ellington. He gets caught in the air.
Great defense on the switch.
Here's Lawson. Nice drive. Lawson's winded. He wants to come out.
He's got that fist raised, and Roy Williams will go to that bench right away.
Virginia Tech guards are wearing him out right now. Tim Brandt and Billy Packer with you at the Dean Dome. Virginia Tech leading Carolina by 6. Vasayo.
Pretty good recovery by Greenberg to get back out there on the good shooter.
Lawson, still winded.
You know, as a freshman, he doesn't have the stamina.
And hits the three ball.
Doesn't have the stamina that a senior guard that he's playing against has, but he'll have to work his way through that. Roy Williams asked him to shoot, and he did.
They're on their feet.
If you're Dowdell, you ought to make Lawson guard you hard because he is winded.
Vasayo off balance. Not a good shot. Lawson will push it. Good hands by Gordon to knock it out of bounds. North Carolina had numbers. 7:18 to play. Dowdell pushes it for Tech, but Carolina comes back. We've got a good one in Chapel Hill.
Like.com, the new way to see your sports.
21,800 here tonight at the Dean Smith Center. A couple of them out there getting refreshments during this timeout.
Tim, when you take a look at, yeah, there you see him. When you take a look at this Virginia Tech team, you see Tar Heel shooting 1 for 8 to start, then 6 for 10. Better shot selection going to the basket. They still haven't been able to get their inside game going much at all.
Well, and they've had to work for those shots too. A very aggressive Virginia Tech defense. This is Thompson. Hansbrough. Hansbrough and Terry both back in the ball game. Both have 2 personals.
They got a question to double down on Thompson to leave Hansbrough wide open inside with a one-on-one situation. But it worked out for Virginia Tech. Holding on the inside. Not bad for a freshman lineup. Ellington, Lawson, Wright, and Thompson.
And Billy, it was Thompson who just picked up the personal foul. This is Washington for 2. Now it's Virginia Tech who's going cold, and Witcher picks up a personal foul. Coming over the back.
Mentioning, and he'll come out of the ball game with 3 fouls, but mentioning this Virginia Tech team, just think about this. 4 of their 7 losses, Western Michigan, Southern Illinois, which is going to be an NCAA tournament team, GW, which has a chance, but is hanging in there right now, and Marshall. And you look at this club right now and you say, you know, how does anybody that's not a top 25 team beat them?
I agree with you. I tell you, one of the hottest teams in the country right now is Georgetown with 8 straight wins. Boy, a good win over West Virginia last night with Ellington making the move.
Second time a freshman guard for North Carolina has penetrated all the way to the basket.
Dowdell for 3. No, he was on the line. That's a 2.
Up step over the line with Stevenson. Nice job by Washington. Back on Thomas.
That's a bad freshman mistake right there.
Big turnover.
Alex Stevenson stepped in bounds before he threw it in. Phil, you had to be surprised by West Virginia's win over UCLA.
Well, coming all the way across country, West Virginia is a tough place to get to, and they didn't have Collison, who is really, in my estimation, without him, it changes the complexion of their team 100%.
Dowdell throws up a brick. This is Terry beyond the arc. Splash!
Good follow through by Terry.
We're tied at 23.
That's 7 for 8, 23 points against Wake Forest. That was a solid follow through.
Sales picks up his dribble.
Nice.
And Tech has to take a timeout.
I think a very good timeout. Game kind of getting away, momentum change.
We'll return after this message from Virginia Tech. Carolina's on a 10-2 run over the last 2:14. And how about this Terry shot, Billy?
And watch the follow through on this. Look at it. He stays with this shot along. He's still with the shot as the ball goes down. Terrific job on his part. When you get that wide open shot, you stay with your follow through.
Like picking a peach.
One guy has had some interesting games in regard to field goal shooting. 7 for 10 against Penn, 7 for 9 against Georgia Tech, and 7 for 8 against Wake Forest. So he is capable.
Those 23 against Wake were big, and here's the foul on Stevenson.
Is it Stevenson or Thomas? Thomas, yeah. Probably not a very wise foul because a double team was just taking place.
Carolina Chrysler and Jeep dealers are giving away 2 grand prizes that include ACC tournament tickets, combinations, and new vehicles to drive during the tournament in Tampa, Florida. So visit theacc.com for more details. Presented by Chrysler and Jeep, the official vehicles of the ACC.
You know, we know about Dowdell as a scorer, number 6 in the ACC in scoring. He's number 6 in free throw shooting percentage, number 3 in steals, which he has been throughout his career, tremendous in regard to steals, and number 2 in assist turnover ratio. Pretty solid season. Absolutely, averaging 18 points a game. And in the ACC, his scoring average, his rebound average, everything else elevates. That's what we're talking about. Virginia Tech in their defense. Pretty solid backcourt. Boy, they do it. They overplay you. They're quick. They turn those steals into points. And Dowdell gives Tech a 2-point lead. And they play over 30 minutes a game. Talking about Lawson getting a little bit fatigued. Here you got the senior players who are able to play at a pace with not only the stamina but the intelligence to be able to go more than 30 minutes. Ball's loose. Tech last to touch it. Dowdell mad at himself because they had the steal. Yeah, that was a smart play, though, not throwing it back in bounds, because he realizes that if he throws it in, watch this strip, if he throws it in, it could possibly go right to an easy 2 points for Carolina. 15 on the shot clock as they double down on Hansbrough again. Hansbrough, and he's fouled. Actually tripled him. You know, when you're going to double down on Hansbrough, what you want to do, as opposed to stealing the ball because his hands are so strong, don't try to go for the ball. Just go for position, make him get rid of it. He becomes actually more active the more guys that are around him. As long as he has his pivot foot established, he can go to that hoop. He gets the roll on the first one. The foul was on Jakite. That's his first. Just try to keep your feet moving and stay between him and the basket, as opposed to trying to steal it from him. He's so strong. Hansbrough ties it with 25. Tech and A&M now tied at 59. North Carolina overplaying all passes. Time for backdoor cuts. Good defense. Carolina's got numbers, but Wright's not a handler and can't get it down there.
And the jump ball possession arrow is Carolina's.
That was probably a break for North Carolina because Virginia Tech is on their way for a 2-on-1 break. Again, there's good positioning. Nobody trying to steal the ball, just positioning themselves. And again, that would have been a 2-on-1 break. Entire game played man-to-man by both of these teams. And now they're starting to trap a little bit.
Here's Ellington. Oh, is he quick in that first step?
Well, you've got to give up so much because of his great jump shot. He became extremely aggressive right at the start of this ball game. He's scoring well.
Carolina by 2, and that's the Tar Heels' largest lead.
And they're getting this lead with a terrific defensive effort on the half court.
Washington with the Chiquite pass, and he has it blocked. Carolina finding a good rhythm. Hansbrough for 2.
Not the shot. And not the shot they wanted with this nice momentum they've got going.
This is Gordon.
Hansbrough made a mistake there. He was guarding him. You don't leave a good shooter to go get a man who doesn't have the ball.
Well, was it a 3 or a 2? The officials are going to check. They're talking about it now. So while they check to see if he was beyond the arc, we'll take a break. Timeout on the floor. We'll take one as well. Billy, it was like a who's who here on Saturday, celebrating the 50th anniversary of the 32-0 1957 team and the 25th anniversary of the 1982 team with Michael Jordan, Perkins, and Worthy and that group. Just an emotional Saturday afternoon.
You know, one of the things I think back of that 1957 team started television back here in the Carolinas. It probably put the ACC on the map. Castle and Chesley went out and televised those great games that North Carolina played, 2 triple overtime games. There's Charlie Scott, one of the great North Carolina players of all time right there as well. But can you imagine what the rights fees were? 0. I think this year CBS is going to pay somewhere in the neighborhood of $500 million for the rights fees for the NCAA tournament. Chesley went out and said, hey, you mind if I show this game back to North Carolina? And that started the Sail with the Pilot and all the great games that people have enjoyed over the years.
Billy, one of the great stories I thought this past weekend was, of course, Frank McGuire bringing those 5 New York kids down here to play on Tobacco Road. I asked Lenny Rosenbluth, I said, what brought you all the way down to Carolina? He says, Frank McGuire. Wherever he went, I was going to go with him.
You know, Frank McGuire almost took the job at Alabama and then decided to come to the University of North Carolina. Yeah, Lenny would have been playing in the Crimson Tide, man.
Down at Tuscaloosa. 3:05 to play here in the first half. Tied at 27. We've had 3 ties in this ball game. Virginia Tech has led for most of the first half. Carolina's led twice. Lawson, blue jumper. Carolina keeps it alive, gets a new shot clock. Right.
He doesn't miss many of those. With those long arms, he gets a great look when he's that low.
Hansbrough is on the line. A look at the Q motor. A look at the Q motor oil, Power 25.
Well, in those yellow figures, you see the ACC with just 2 teams in the top 25. Duke drops out for the first time since that 96-97 season.
But the ACC is the only conference to have 8 teams ranked in the top 40 of the RPI. Here's Dowdell, pull-up jumper. Boy, Washington got up, but couldn't finish.
How about Lawson with the rebound, takes it coast to coast. Dowdell with the head up, seeing exactly where people are open.
Dowdell for 3. Bang!
Beautiful job on his part. And Gordon. 2 senior guards that really understand the game.
They combined for 40 the first time these 2 teams played this year. And Virginia Tech won when Carolina was ranked number 1 in the nation. Right, left-handed, nice.
Now you give Wright that look inside 10, 12 feet. And he is going to burn you.
He now has 4 points. Boy, Dowdell got off to that slow start, Billy. He now has 9 points.
Well, you notice he didn't force anything either when he got off to the slow start.
Boy, Collins was just fighting that out of bounds. There's nothing like college basketball. And if you're celebrating the win, do it right. The way you celebrate sure says a lot about you and reflects on your school. So be responsible. Take care of yourself and your friends, and that's a message from Anheuser-Busch.
Chris Tucker in the ball game now, matched up against Ellington. Ellington ought to take him right away, and does. Good move.
Collins immediately gets it back to Gordon.
You see a man come into the ball game that's not yet loose, a man who's out of position defensively. You got to take him immediately.
Collins with a jumper. Lean off balance, but hits it.
What a floater. He got caught in the air and wasn't sure what he wanted to do with it. That was a terrific play.
Carolina by 1. 35 on the game clock, 30 on the shot clock.
And give the Tar Heels credit because they've really turned this around with great defensive intensity. They're making every shot an experience for Virginia Tech.
Ellington on Gordon.
Ellington has really improved defensively.
Shot clock is at 11. Here goes Gordon. This is for 3.
Roy Williams wanting the timeout to get a good look here with 8.7 seconds to go.
One-point Carolina lead, 8.7 seconds to play in the first half. Timeout on the floor as the teams discuss strategy. You should too. Get someone to talk with you, not at you. Talk to Chuck, Charles Schwab. Billy, what are they talking about?
The first thing I want to talk about, Timmy, is this. Whatever happened to the coach's box? Did you see where Roy Williams was when he called that timeout? He was probably about 15 feet out on the floor. Got the referee's attention because he did want that 8.7. But I think with 8.7 to go, what do you want to make sure is that they didn't get caught in a helter-skelter situation. I'm surprised that Hansbrough isn't on the floor right now and Wright to get something down inside. I know they've got some foul trouble, but still, they would be the guy with this much time you'd want to see get that ball inside.
Doesn't want him to pick up the third. Here's Lawson. Down to 4 seconds. Ellington. Bam!
What a follow-through, and what a setup by Roy Williams.
Ellington with 11 points.
I think Seth may be upset as to how Roy Williams got that timeout.
He is. And he's letting them know about it. 34-30, Carolina at the half.
Time. Ralph, basically his career was his college career. I really think that for Michael, every second that he ever played, that was the moment that counted. Ralph never really did understand that. And I think that's what separated Michael Jordan becoming the greatest player of all time and Ralph doing less than what he was capable of.
You know what Michael told us this past weekend out here for the big reunion? He said when he hit that jumper in the national championship game, he went from Mike to Michael Jordan, and he never played the same again.
Well, that rebound meant as much to me, and I can remember it like it happened in the first half here. I saw that rebound. I said, how in the world did that kid get that rebound?
Collins' shot is no good. Wright is called for the foul coming over the back.
Of course, at that point in his career, I said, hey, this guy's going to be a pretty good player. I mean,
good call.
You know,
good call.
But I never thought he was going to be what he became. But that was part of that made him special.
But Billy, as great as he was so moved here on Saturday at the reunion. Here's Washington with a drive, can't finish.
That's 1 for 15 now.
Boy,
2 for 15.
They're getting some great shots in there.
Big people at good position have got to make those baskets.
Carolina by 4 with the ball. Wright is fouled. Foul is on Collins. That's his first.
A lot of separation games coming up now, Tim. You see that Florida State ball game right there?
Tennessee got by Kentucky.
I wouldn't say that's a separator. Tennessee and Kentucky will both be in the NCAA tournament. And tomorrow night, that Boston College-Duke game, you talk about a separator. You know, Duke to get back on track, Boston College to put themselves in a position to win the league.
Billy, you look at the stretch run for these teams that are trying to get in the tournament. As you look at the field goal percentage leaders of the freshmen in this, are you surprised at Virginia's game tonight against Longwood?
Well, if I was a Virginia coach, I wouldn't be surprised. I'd say I need a breather.
And that's what he got. Collins with a rebound. The lead stays at 4. See how Virginia Tech responds to being down 4 on the road. Washington. And the blocking foul. And for Hansbrough, that'll be 3. That's big.
Well, Hansbrough got caught in a bad position because Washington broke Terry down with the dribble immediately.
Roy Williams is hot. He's letting Jamie Luckey know about it.
Well, the coach coming off. Fans love that. He better not throw it anywhere because the official is watching him, so he gives it to the manager and says, you know, it's just a little warm in here.
Technical foul, Dowdell at the line. And misses it. So Roy got the technical. We'll see if Dowdell can make it. He does, and closes it to a 3-point game.
And now Washington goes to the line.
Dowdell, an 82% free throw shooter. Washington, just a 59% free throw shooter.
It's a lot about this Virginia Tech team that doesn't make sense, and one of the things is free throw shooting. They're 10th in the league in free throw shooting. To have as solid a year as they've had, you'd figure that both rebounding and free throw shooting would be keys for them, but they have been negatives. The fact that they don't turn the ball over probably helps them out a great deal.
Washington misses them both.
Push foul on Collins.
So a 3-point game with 18:59 to play. And Collins now has 2, and they're 2 quick ones.
Here's where free throw shooting really hurts. You've got an opportunity to tighten that game up.
They should have a 1-point lead.
Exactly. They missed 3 of 4.
Terry, good pump fake. And the entry pass to the foul on Witcher. That's 4 on him.
Excellent positioning that time by Wright. Witcher will have to come out.
Witcher getting more playing time tonight, according to Seth Greenberg, to help contain UMC's inside threat. They bring in Versailles now, so they go smaller.
I don't think Versailles knew who he was supposed to be guarding.
Hansbrough fouled by Collins. That's 3 quick ones.
They picked up 2 cheap ones here in this second half in the first minute and 30 seconds.
Well, look at the team fouls mounting up quickly.
That's the same foul as
This broadcast is a copyrighted presentation, and the use of it without the express permission of Raycom Lincoln Financial Sports and the ACC is prohibited. As Hansbrough makes the free throw, Tim Brandt and Billy Packer with you. 18:30 to play. Carolina leading by 4, and Hansbrough now with 8 points.
Tim, the development of Hansbrough as an offensive player to go to the next level of his maturity is where he can start facing the basket from 15 to 18 feet with a decent jump shot and then blow by to get himself on the foul line, as opposed to just getting there when he's down in the low box. North Carolina goes zone. They're 1-3-1 point zone now with Hansbrough in the middle.
Seth Greenberg calls out the zone, makes sure his guys recognize it. Dowdell steps in, this is a 2-ball. 36-33.
Oh, what a block that was.
Possession arrow belongs to Virginia Tech.
Well, I think the North Carolina. That is some block. all ball here. Wow.
So I said Virginia Tech, but obviously Carolina ball. Ellington for the 2. And there's Hansbrough again. And Hansbrough is fouled.
Can't stop the young guy when he gets inside with some room to operate. But was that some tip by Wright on that inbounds play? He anticipated that he was not going to be able to go ahead and deliver the basket. Tapped it back. Very nice play on his part.
Total mismatch as Jamon Gordon gets called for a foul on Hansbrough. Gordon just 6'3", and Hansbrough 6'9", 245. Now 7 of 8 from the line.
And that's another thing about that young man. He gets there often, but he's shooting at 77%. Solid from the line for a big man. They stay in the zone.
Dowdell for 3. Yes.
I don't think they'll stay there long. I really don't, because...
Well, that's a zone breaker right there.
Yeah, they've got 2 zone breakers. Actually, they've got 3 with Vasayo on the floor.
Dowdell with a steal. Over to Washington. He fires for 3. It hits it.
And Roy Williams is going to have to change defenses. It's a nice comeback right here by Virginia Tech.
Hokies by 1.
I'm really surprised that Roy Williams went to that zone.
Hansbrough with a good power move.
They're really missing Collins on the floor right now. Not enough power to stay with Hansbrough. They do get out of the zone, back to man-to-man.
And Vasayo has it blocked out of bounds. 22 on the shot clock. Thompson comes back into the ball game. Stevenson comes in. Hansbrough and Wright go out. This game has had 3 ties, 6 lead changes. Now Terry goes out of the ball game.
Cabadam coming into the ball game right now, trying to give him a little power. Hansbrough sits down.
And Denny Green comes in for Carolina. This is Gordon.
Nick Thompson got a piece of that one. And basket. And basket. Let's take a look at this. I think this basket should have counted here.
I think you're right. Washington fouled. Continuation. Ball on its way down.
I think so. But he's going to get 2. Sometimes officials, they would have looked at that because obviously they didn't call it a foul before the shot was up there. But I don't think any official was really watching the flight of the ball.
Ellington now with 12 points. Three-point Carolina lead.
Roy Williams tried 3 possessions in that zone defense. He got out of it in a hurry. There's a walk.
Washington a little too anxious. 4 turnovers now. Boy, Lawson's a good-looking player, isn't he?
Yeah, he really is getting accustomed to his position now. Doesn't force things.
Stevenson with a jump hook.
Well, he and Thompson showed what they can do in that Arizona game when Wright was out of there. Both of those fellows very gifted offensively.
That's Stevenson's first bucket tonight. Carolina's pushed the lead back to 5. Vasayo running one-handed.
Numbers
3-on-1. Lawson. Carolina's largest lead.
How about that? Who called the time? Oh, how about that? Virginia Tech coaching staff called the time with an open layup.
Seth Greenberg not happy with the timeout, but it came from the bench. It's an 8-0 Carolina run over the last 1 minute and 20 seconds. 14-0 at home. Carolina trying to run that streak to 15. See what teams do at home, Billy, in the ACC. Carolina Carolina trying to jump to that 6-0 mark.
Well, you're finding this around the country, just about all leagues, Tim. If you're going to be at the top of your league, you cannot surrender home games because the breakthroughs on the road are so difficult to get. North Carolina showed the 1-3-1 zone or the point zone for 3 possessions. Virginia Tech got themselves back in the game. Roy Williams goes back to the hard-nosed man-to-man.
There's the one we were just telling you about. And Dowdell is fouled by Lawson. Lawson may have hurt himself on that play. 15:28 to play. 46-39.
Full synthetic Q torque power for trucks. Unleash all your horses.
Bill, in that last play before the timeout, Ty Lawson got hurt there. They knocked knees, Dowdell and Lawson.
Yeah, Dowdell had the advantage right here because he hit Lawson right inside of his knee, and that was sturdy.
So Lawson on the bench continues to massage that left knee. Carolina continues to improve as this game goes along, like they did against Duke over in Cameron. And the foul. So Dowdell will go to the line to shoot 2. Dowdell with 15 points and trying to add to it.
Started very slow in this ball game, but as we talked about him, he's just a terrific player in everything he's doing in the league.
That's the first on Stevenson. This is what we talked about the first time they met when they upset top-ranked, then top-ranked Carolina. Every foul shot now, Billy, becomes critical for Virginia Tech.
And you like to have a guy in the line shooting 83%, as Dowdell is. He and Gordon have been starting basically for 3 years here, and used to playing a 30-minute ball game. Accomplished in all areas: defense, ball handling, and shooting.
See the points in the paint. Virginia Tech now needs to stop, trailing by 5.
So he's got size here.
Oh, they almost had to stop. They got it. Our Chick-fil-A nugget of the game. ACC and the RPI rankings. Second-ranked conference. 8 teams ranked in the top 40, as we said, in the RPI. And the second toughest non-conference schedule. And, Billy, I know you believe that all helps when the selection committee gets together.
Absolutely.
Well, they beat each other up badly in the conference this year. Once he picks up his dribble.
Washington can break down off the dribble. There he goes. Doesn't convert. 5-on-4 now for North Carolina.
Back to Frazier and reset the offense.
Stevenson not guarding Stevenson that far from the basket.
Terry Stevenson, he loses it.
There was Thompson not paying attention. He was running down court to get in the defensive spot. Didn't even realize that Dowdell had pulled up for a jump shot. He could have blocked it from behind.
I thought it was going to be a 4-point play the way Dowdell's been shooting. So Thompson picks up his second, and Dowdell back at the line, trying to close this 5-point gap.
And here comes Hansbrough, Wright, and Greenberg into the ball game. Fresh, restored, and in a position to have a 5-point lead. Dowdell missing some key free throws in this ball game.
Boy, and Tech has improved its free throw shooting. Since the Maryland game, they shot almost 76% at the line. Prior to that, just 64%. Dowdell has one more coming. Right, and all come back into the ball game along with Frazier and Terry.
Coleman Collins has been extremely quiet in this ball game, Tim. And if Virginia Tech's going to get back into it, he is going to have to become a factor on the offensive end. Get something started inside.
Collins only has 2 points. Good call, Billy. It's a 3-point game. Hansbrough. Oh, great follow inside.
Terry with the follow-up. Terry and Greenberg both there.
And Dowdell is fouled again.
You see two North Carolina players, the double down on Hansbrough. Two North Carolina players, neither blocked out. Terry gets it.
Foul was on Ginyard. Ginyard was up there when Terry finished. I couldn't tell if Ginyard or Terry finished, but it was Terry. And then Ginyard picked up the personal.
Dowdell's been living on this foul line. One of the things, as I mentioned at the top of the show, neither of these teams can get in real serious foul difficulty because they do play so many people.
20 points trying to make it a three-point game. And he does. Big night for Dowdell with 21 points. Terry for three.
Goodyear kept it alive. Terry much better when he shoots standing still as opposed to off the dribble. We saw him hit that three in the first half.
Dowdell to try to tie it. It won't go down. Boy, Lawson pushes it. He takes the shot for two.
Hard to believe that Munson didn't pick him up earlier. You can't get Lawson going over half court. He'll just push it all the way to the hoop.
Lawson with a quiet 9 points, Billy. Tim Brandt and Billy Packer with you. The Dean Dome.
Another foul.
And that's on Ginyard.
Boy, Dowdell is doing it to one of the best defensive players out there.
Ginyard's second personal. Let's take a look at our Avalon defensive shield. Points allowed per game. Duke 58.6, Clemson 64, Virginia Tech 63.2, and there's Carolina.
Now, one of the things you have to look at, too, is the differential between what you get and what you give up. North Carolina far and away the best in the ACC with a plus 22. Style of play, we know. Remember all the years at Princeton always used to lead the nation in field goal defense. Defensive points given up. But they're also the pace of the game kept games in the 50s and 60s. North Carolina is averaging 88 points a game, so it's very difficult to be way down the line there in regard to how many points you're giving up because you're giving up possessions.
Watching Georgetown beat West Virginia last night, I thought I was watching Princeton. Running that attack, John Thompson the third. Dowdell keeping Virginia Tech in this ballgame. Lawson hits another one. He's in double figures.
Well, that was a great shot because he bounced away from the basket and still hit it.
Jakite with a follow.
Over right. Pretty good play.
Carolina by 3.
You know, and Gordon has really been quiet in the second half. So it's basically been all Dowdell. His partner in crime hasn't put up big numbers.
Look at Lawson making things happen. How about that? Drive, draw, and dish.
And give Ginyard some credit on that, too. Realizing that Lawson was going to look for an opening. He broke without the ball and gave him the perfect passing angle.
Way to see your sport.
Well, Dowdell has had a terrific second half, but the freshman, Lawson, is staying right with him. Jumpers, drives, there's the bounce back jumper, which is a very difficult shot to make. And there's Ginyard, instead of standing and watching, filling the hole on that penetration, knowing Lawson will get you the ball. So many players in the modern game have a tendency to stand and watch when somebody else has the ball. You've got to be moving, either setting a screen for one of your teammates or moving to an open spot, as Ginyard did there, to make the angle perfect for the passing.
Lawson with 5 points in the first half and 6 in the second. Dowdell thought he was pushed back. Over and back. Turnover for Virginia Tech.
There was some contact, but a nice jump out there by Green, helping Ginyard double team. Dowdell has been tremendous in his second half. Gordon is going to have to do something. He has not scored in the second half of Virginia Tech. We've got Gordon and Collins have been quiet. Points have got to come from someplace.
This is Green at the top of the key. to right. Akite with a nice rebound. Here's Gordon. Boy,
Ball was thrown right down at Collins' ankles.
and Hansbrough is fouled by Versailles. His second.
Both of those players showing some courage there.
It's a good foul, though. Let's go make him go earn them.
17 foul. Hansbrough getting 2 shots.
11-13 to play. Hansbrough gets 2 here.
High score there between Georgia Tech and Florida State. As we said, one of those breakthrough games. Georgia Tech has not won on the road in, 18 games? And when you start talking about that tournament selection committee, they're looking to see what can you do on the road. That does not bode well for Georgia Tech.
And down the stretch. You know, you were talking about Jared Dudley, and he is having another great season. How about Alfred? Terrific player.
He really is.
7-point lead now for the Tar Heels. I'm not sure they want sales to all this ball.
Absolutely not. Not with Goodyear on him.
Washington, nice pass to Chiquite.
I tell you, Washington can put the ball on the floor and go by people.
He's a 6'7", 205-pounder, too. Here's Hansbrough with a 2.
Great rebound by Gordon over the bigger people.
He's got to somehow find his stroke.
Well, they haven't done anything to set him up.
And this foul's going to be on right, I believe.
I think they're going to say
stepped out of bounds.
Yeah. Pretty good foot movement by Wright.
I know Seth Green saying, come on, he's pushing him out.
I thought it was pretty good defense. Now, Seth understands that the other coach, Roy Williams, has a technical foul. He might want to make sure that the officials aren't trying to even things up with.
Under 10.5 to play in this ball game. Oh, nice pump fake by Lawson.
Some rebound.
Back to Terry.
Plenty of time on the clock.
Vito again comes up big on the defensive end. This is Washington for 3. Yes! Oh, they needed that one. And Green is fouled, and the foul is on Jamon Gordon. He got caught in a mismatch. That's 3 on Gordon.
Is this amazing that you have Gordon without a point in the second half, Collins without a point in the second half, and Virginia Tech just 2 down?
2 shots.
Dowdell has come up big with 23 points. You know, your phone is well taken. You think that Dowdell has 14. Virginia Tech's 24 points in the second half.
Yeah, you're talking about between the 2 players I mentioned, senior ball players, averaging almost 19 a game between them. And here you go a whole half without either one of them having a basket. It's hard to overcome. And one of the ways Virginia Tech's overcoming North Carolina's dominance in this game is they're doing a good job rebounding.
And Green pushes it back to a 4-point lead. Lawson on Gordon. Boy, he got the roll. Tough shot.
May get him on track. It was a tough shot.
Thompson turnaround.
Versailles with the rebound. Virginia Tech really doing well on the boards.
Versailles from way outside. Call that foul on Collins.
Is that number 4 on him?
It is.
Pretty good block out by Thompson.
Boy, Versailles saw a chance to take the lead with that 3, and he took it from way outside.
I got to question that shot, though, Tim.
Yeah, I agree.
You're 2 down, 9 minutes to go in the ball game. You have Gordon making his first basket. You go ahead and get the ball in the hands of Dowdell and Gordon. And then, in effect, get a shot if they don't have something.
So Collins with that foul trouble, Billy, he will take a seat on the bench. Chiquite comes back in.
Wide stance on the foul line by Thompson. Big, strong kid with excellent low post moves.
6'8", 245-pounder, Torrance, California. Makes them both a good-looking player.
Well, I mentioned the differential. North Carolina, #1 rebounding team in the ACC. Virginia Tech 12th. And up to this point, Virginia Tech has a 2-rebound advantage on them in the game. That's how they're staying in this ballgame.
Gordon with a turnaround.
Two down shots by Virginia Tech. Oh, he got pushed from behind.
And he'll go to the line to shoot 2.
That's a dangerous foul there when you get a guy from behind in the air.
Well, and Jamie Lucky is talking to him, too.
See that? He grabbed his leg. That should have been an intentional foul, maybe even flagrant. Watch him grab his leg. I think you could have called that an intentional flagrant foul and put him out of a ball game on that.
That's 4 on Gordon, and he's letting the bench know about it. They know it. So he'll go out of the ball game, and Sales will come in.
You don't ever want to see a player have an opportunity to hurt a player up in the air like that. That was not a smart play by Gordon.
Marcus Gaynard from Alexandria, Virginia. Bishop O'Connell High School. Makes them both. They're on their feet. They know this is a critical time in this ball game. Virginia Tech's on the ropes. Nice pass by Washington. And Chiquite finishes.
Washington has some unbelievable quickness for him.
He really does. Really does.
Explosive feet.
And he's always thinking about going to the basket at all times. Ellington. Terry for 2. There he goes.
I tell you, he is quick. Terry asked to come out of that ball game after making it, gave the fist. Green's going to come in for it.
Boy, Washington's feeling it right now.
How about Lawson with a double pump? He has made some of the most incredible drives to the basket where he uses the rim to ward off the defender.
Billy, this game's being played at a high level right now. And Dowdell throws it away. Chiquite saying, take it to the hoop. 7:18 to play. A 6-point Carolina lead.
Geico.com. So easy, a caveman can do it.
6-point game, 7:18 to play. This is the way our game summary looks. Dowdell, 23 points, 11 of 13 at the line, keeping a minute. Hansbrough in a little bit of foul trouble.
Well, when you speak about foul trouble, you've got Richard, Collins, and Gordon all with 4 for Virginia Tech.
Billy, you talked about the keys to the game. Here's the X factor and handling the pressure.
I would say North Carolina handled the pressure better than Virginia Tech got play from somebody other than their key performance.
Chiquite again with a big stop under there, and the foul is going to be called on Ellington.
And free throw shooting, Tim, could be very, very important down the stretch right here. Chiquite gets it. Ellington comes back and tries to steal it, picks up the cheap foul.
So Chiquite will go to the line.
54% free throw shooting. Not the kind of guy you want in the line at this point in the game. And he buries it.
Well, I'm with you, though, Billy. He hit only 12 of his 22 coming into this ball game. But Seth Chiquite, young sophomore, hits that one. He now has 9 points. Misses the second one. Ahead to Ellington. To Lawson. Lawson has it knocked out of bounds by Dowdell.
Nice timing by Dowdell. Lawson again showing that he can penetrate all the way to that basket.
Collins comes back into the ballgame with 4 fouls.
Well, when you try to check Lawson, when the ball comes back out to him as the ball's reversed, if you're not in a good position and you have to rush towards him to try to get position, he blows by as good as anybody in the league. He is so quick, very strong.
Nice pass to Hansbrough. Hansbrough now with 17 points.
Good feel by Lawson that time on the play, knowing where Hansbrough would be if he moved well without the ball.
Virginia Tech's on the ropes.
That was Greenberg with the steal. North Carolina scores. Virginia Tech needs a timeout here.
Munson's having a tough time with Lawson. Lawson just blows by him, and Vasallo is called for the foul.
Remember, we talked about moving without the ball. A guard needs angles to throw to, and that's exactly what Hansbrough did, just as Gilyard did earlier in the ballgame. See the perfect angle for the pass. Lawson knew where he was. Hansbrough finishes.
So Lawson goes to the line. Carolina trying to put this thing away, and he misses the free throw. Jamon Gordon comes back in, and Munson goes out.
Lawson on the year, more than 2-to-1 assist-turnover ratio. I saw the young guy early in the year with 5 turnovers in the first half against Greenberg. He is so much better now in regard to recognizing what his job responsibility is as a point guard.
For another miss by Lawson at 68-61. Washington. Dowdell's a little frustrated. He was in the corner and wanted the basketball. Dowdell now on Lawson. Now they switch.
Hansbrough wants that ball.
And Collins has 4 personals. Hansbrough knows it.
Be a good place to go with it if they can get it into him.
3 ball. Washington comes down with it. They've got to find Dowdell. Billy, he was keeping a minute. Now they've thrown away from him. Gordon.
That was impossible. He gets a wide open look.
That basket's got to count.
Well, the basket counts, and it was a foul while that ball was bouncing around on the rim.
So Seth goes over to find out if it counts, and it does.
Okay, the basket has to count. That foul took place down underneath the basket. Who's going to go on the line? Is it going to be Dowdell or Collins?
Well, Dowdell has walked to the line.
Oh, there was the push. The foul was on Terry, and it was Dowdell.
So here he is. And Xavier makes that one.
4-point play opportunity here for Virginia Tech.
Billington cuts the lead to 4. Sales comes back in, and Washington goes out for a breather. They'll need Washington down the stretch. Boy, he plays well, doesn't he, against Carolina? Look at this.
He plays well against everybody. How do you keep him off first team all conference?
I agree. 68-65, 5:09 to play.
Didn't have but 23 points in the first game as well, so.
This feels like a tournament game.
Absolutely. These are 2 teams that can go deep in the NCAA tournament.
And Vasallo is called for the foul. That's 3 on him.
And you could see them in the semifinals or maybe even the finals of the ACC tournament.
I'll tell you what gives us an indication is how intense the coaches are. They know the importance of this ball game.
Well, the other thing that jumps right out at you, and it really was at the start of this ball game, Virginia Tech came out in the game not saying to themselves, you could just feel their level of confidence, that the game at Blacksburg was not an upset. We can play with these guys any night of the week. You just got that feeling about this team. And we remember when they beat North Carolina was ranked #1 in the country that very week. Roy Williams' first and only week that he's had a Carolina team in the #1 spot.
5 minutes to play. We'll return after this message from the University of North Carolina.
Is, as it was meant to be, the University of the people.
Well, 5 minutes left in this ball game, and fourth-ranked Carolina trying to hold on 69-65. Xavier Dowdell having a big ball game, 25 points, but he's been quiet lately, Billy.
Well, he's been quiet because they haven't gotten him the ball. Terrific play on his part on the defensive end of the floor. Hits Washington, who also has put up some excellent shots in this run.
And he did convert that 4-point play when Gordon hit the jumper and Dowdell was pushed out of bounds. He hit the 2 free throws. Here he is, off balance. Boy, just slipped. Lost the paint, lost his footer.
Yeah, Lawson with a good defensive stance there.
Ellington for 3. And there's Dowdell.
It's nice to have 6'3" guards that can reach. That hit.
Terry's going to end up with it.
That hit Dowdell's leg. It would not have been backcourt. But no hustle by Virginia Tech. Terry gets an easy one.
Carolina by 6.
That was a big turnover.
Lawson doing a nice job on Dowdell. Sayo. And the follow by Collins.
Finally by Collins.
And he'll go to the line.
Strong rebound on the offensive end right over Terry.
When they shut down Dowdell, others are stepping up. Vasayo, Collins. Can he make it a 3-point game? All set for what should be a terrific finish. She's ready.
North Carolina in this ball game, we talked about how they were going to have to take care of the ball. They only have, in this game, 8 turnovers. Terrific job against the defensive pressure at Virginia Tech.
Now Collins is going to the line to convert the 3-point play. He hopes. He's a 67% free throw shooter. 3-point game.
Lawson out of the ball game, probably going to be rested for that. Get ready for the last 2 minutes. That almost was a turnover.
I thought it was.
Close.
This is Frazier for 3.
No block out on that play.
Back out to Frazier. Good ball movement. Green for 3. Tech has a chance to tie. Instead they go 2.
Washington on attack there, those quick legs. Tremendous offensive rebound.
1-point game.
I think Lawson has to get back in this ball game for North Carolina.
3 minutes to play as you look at the Tech run. 9-3.
Lawson has got to be, and they're going to put him in, I believe. They need him on the floor.
So Lawson is coming back in the ball game, and Frazier goes out.
For Bobby Frazier. That was only the 9th turnover for North Carolina, but they really missed Lawson on the floor right there.
2:50 to play. Virginia Tech with a chance to take the lead.
Lawson on Dowdell. Ellington on Gordon. I'd give Gordon a chance.
Dowdell off balance, and Virginia Tech leads.
Over the top.
Lawson at the other end. Nice pass to Green.
Well, I said he needs to be in the game. Does he make an offense by himself? I'm surprised Ginyard is not guarding Dowdell. Dowdell a little taller than Lawson, played right over the top of him on that last occasion.
Seth Green is furious that Carolina got out on the break.
Here you can see, right over the top of Lawson goes Dardell, and that's why I think Greenberg's got a better chance to set him down, particularly since Gordon has not had the big game.
Timeout on the floor as the teams discuss strategy. You should too. Get someone to talk with you, not at you. Talk to Chuck, Charles Schwab. Billy, what is he telling them now?
Well, the first thing that I think that they want to do is to make sure who's going to touch this ball. And Dowdell has had such a hot hand. You want him to basically initiate the offense. And I think Gordon is a guy that you want to go ahead and have in a position to get some open looks. Washington has rebounded well offensively, as has Collins. Vaseo has not really had many looks at all, but we know he's a three-point threat.
2:19 to play.
And they brought Miller in to guard Dowdell. With Lawson over on Gordon.
Hokies down one. Dowdell. Hands throw with a big rebound.
Not a guy to foul.
Lawson called a timeout. No foul. Lawson called timeout.
Dowdell really wanted that. He had the look that he wanted, played over the top of Miller, and didn't get the shot to fall. I thought that North Carolina would go Greenberg on Dowdell to have a bigger man on him.
Well, Virginia Tech certainly has come up big in big games thus far this year. This is a team that took on Duke January 6th and did not back down. At Cameron Indoor Stadium, they pulled out a 69-67 win. And then at Castle, 1 month ago today, January 13th, when Carolina was ranked #1 in the nation, Virginia Tech took it right at them, led by 23 in the second half, and won at 94-88. A game that really was not as close as the final score.
Well, at one point, it looked like it was going to be a Virginia Tech blowout, but a great comeback by North Carolina made it respectable.
Here's the timeout situation. Carolina by 1, and you see the time remaining.
As that clock goes down, you want the ball in the hands of Lawson, and he should keep his dribble alive and make something happen.
Shot clock now at 10, Billy. Shot clock at 5. Lawson sees it, fires a 3-ball.
Great rebound that time by Terry.
Lawson will bring it back out.
What did Terry go up in the air to keep that ball alive?
And now, Roy Williams wants a timeout. 1:20 to play. It's still a 1-point game at the Dean Dome. Well, Lawson just seems to be everywhere down the stretch here for Carolina.
Well, if you're North Carolina, you love that, or any team, you love to have the ball in the hands of a guy who can make a play and beat somebody off the dribble with 8 seconds to go on the clock. So many teams in the college game don't have such a player. North Carolina is blessed with a guy like Lawson. But the key to it is to get him the ball back in possession before that clock gets down to 4 or 5 seconds.
Well, you can see we're keeping an eye on Dowdell and Lawson in the last 1:15 of this ball game. Shot clock at 15.
Clear out there for Hansbrough. Pretty good job by Collins.
Shot clock at 10.
1 minute.
Shot clock at 5. Ellington for 3.
Double pumped it.
Under a minute to play.
A lot of options now for this club on the floor for Virginia Tech. They've got 4 players that offensively can do something.
40 seconds to play. Dowdell. And Washington is fouled by Terry. That is 5 fouls on Terry. He's now disqualified.
How about that catch by Washington? In traffic, body on him. That is some catch. And he almost delivered the basket.
Dowdell got caught in the air. I'm not sure that's what he wanted to do with it.
I would agree. Washington's hurt a little bit now.
Well, he went down hard.
He really did. He's just a 58% free throw shooter. Now, you do have the option to take him out of the ball game if he's too injured to shoot the free throw. Is Munson going to come in and shoot it for him?
Well, Munson,
he's only 1,000% free throw shooter on the year.
He's only gone 4
for 4. And you can do this. I mean, he is limping. Now,
He's going out.
The fans won't like it, but he's going out to be administered to. And you take a 58% free throw shooter and put him on the bench, you bring in a 1,000% free throw shooter to shoot the fouls.
Here comes Nigel Munson from the famed Matha High School. He's a freshman. Tough position for a freshman to be in, though. And you're taking out a great athlete here in Washington.
He can come right back in after, when the clock goes back again, but he is being administered by the trainer.
Can you imagine the pressure on this freshman? And he misses the free throw.
Of course, he's been sitting over there awful cold. Didn't even get a chance to get any running action in.
He's got a chance to tie it right here. So he's now 5 for 6 this season.
And Washington does not come back into the ball game. He's still sitting on that sideline. I wonder if he'll come back in for the last. Well, he's not going to be back in at all.
Here we go. Last 30 seconds.
Virginia Tech has played 2 overtime games this year. North Carolina 0. Roy Williams is now down to his last timeout.
So Virginia Tech has 1 timeout left. Carolina has 1 timeout left. Tied at 73. Spectacular ball game. 19 seconds left. Our Pepsi players of the game. Well, you guessed it. Xavier Dowdell, 27 points. 13 of 15 at the line. And Ty Lawson, what a great job he did running this offense. 13 points, 5 assists, and only 1 turnover. Well, our next telecast this Saturday, 1 o'clock. Some of you will see Florida State and Virginia. That's a pivotal game. Some of us looking for wins down the stretch. They need that. Some of others will see Jack McClinton and the Miami Hurricanes travel to Winston-Salem to take on Kyle Visser and the Wake Forest Demon Deacons. More basketball on Raycom and Lincoln Financial Sports' 25th anniversary, bringing you ACC hoops. So check your local listings for the game in your area. Billy, 1 second differential. Game clock, shot clock. We're tied at 7.
So therefore, I don't think you worry about that at all.
No.
Just if you're North Carolina, you say, we're going to end this game with us in possession of the ball. And I think you want to have Lawson with it, making a drive to the basket, looking to dish out to Ellington, or maybe even a dump inside to Hansbrough. I wonder if Wright will come back into the ball game now, because he'd be an excellent guy in a missed shot. He's not going to be into the ball game.
Virginia Tech with Collins, Sales, Versailles, Gordon, and Dowdell. Washington trying to check back in, and now Seth Greenberg will take his final timeout.
Washington coming back in the ball game.
So timeout, Virginia Tech.
And I mentioned Virginia Tech has played in 2 overtime games. They beat Duke, the game you talked about earlier, and they beat Maryland in overtime as well. North Carolina has not been in one this year.
Well, as you mentioned that, Billy, let's take a look at the ACC standings. See Carolina trying to jump up there on top. Boston College with a big game against Duke this week. Cavaliers out of conference, picking up their 18th win tonight.
A win that probably doesn't do anything for them or the conference in terms of RPI standing or the selection committee's look at the ACC.
It's a win, but not what the selection committee calls a quality win.
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, statistically, you can win a game like that with that type of opponent and actually go backwards in the RPI.
Oh, I agree with you. I agree with you. And the selection committee go backwards in their eyes. Well, here we go. 19 seconds remain in the ball game. 18 seconds on the shot clock. Carolina with a chance to take the lead. We're deadlocked at 73.
I really thought Brandon Wright would come back in the ball game because a missed shot, you like guys that can kick the ball in. And he plays so big up around the rim.
Here's Lawson in absolutely no hurry.
Looks like Roy Williams is saying we are going to take it right down, get 1 shot off.
Lawson, 5 on the shot clock. He fires a 3.
Good block out.
And we're going to overtime. Let's catch our breath, reload, and come back for the extra. Here's another look at the last shot of regulation. And Lawson got a pretty good look at it from beyond the arc.
I think Roy Williams probably wanted penetration there, Tim. Penetration and to dump off inside or take it right to the hoop with one of those pattern layups of his.
Here's what you were talking about, Billy. 2-0 in overtime games. And Carolina in their first OT of the season. Here's what's at stake. Carolina's won 14 straight here at home. And Virginia Tech has won 3 games on the road, stealing it. Here's Dowdell.
He has played over the top of Lawson on these drives.
Collins. Virginia Tech leads by 2.
2 big baskets by Collins. One going down to the wire and then to open this overtime.
Collins has played a long time with 4 personals.
That's why the ball needs to go inside right here. Double down. What a block by Washington.
Possession arrow belongs to the Tar Heels.
I have not seen Wright blocked when he's got this kind of space this year. That is some play.
Another look.
Washington is really quick off his feet.
Hansbrough. Ball's still alive. And Collins, did he step on the line? He did. Carolina basketball.
You know, one of the things that really jumps out at you in this game is how well Virginia Tech is rebounding. They're being out-rebounded on the year by their opponents. Tonight they have held their own against the #1 rebounding team in the league.
No panic in either one of these clubs. Ellington, good strong drive, and he's fouled. Fouls on Dowdell. Georgia Tech by 3, 23 seconds left in that game.
Trying to break that 17-game losing streak on the road. Be a huge win for Georgia Tech. And what would that mean for them going into Duke this weekend? Particularly with Duke looking at Boston College tomorrow night.
Ellington pinches that free throw.
Good call, Tim. That's exactly what he did. It was not a clean follow-through.
When you talk about Duke losing 4 in a row, people say, well, they aren't as talented. You know, UNC and Duke each have 6 McDonald's All-Americans. Plenty of talent on both teams.
Don't get me started on McDonald's All-Americans.
75-74, 3:53 to play.
Virginia Tech really giving a steady diet of Dowdell and Gordon now. We're going to have to stop our aces, says Seth Greenberg.
Collins.
Does he have another inning?
Carolina with a chance to take the lead. Almost knocked away and taken by Dowdell. Lawson gets it back. 15 on the shot clock. Boy, it's tense in this building. Back to Ellington, beyond the arc. No bucket.
And Washington gave up his body to commit that foul before Hansbrough could get it off. Pretty smart play on his part right here. Watch this. He's trying to do everything he can. I kind of think that might have been in the act of shooting. He is so strong.
This is to tie the game.
And how nice it is to have a big man that can make free throws.
And how about the rebound? He actually stopped the Virginia break and gives Carolina the lead by 1.
He made 14 of 15 in that Georgia Tech ball game earlier this year. Not afraid to go to the line in big moments.
Under 3 minutes to play. In overtime. Here's Dowdell, and he's fouled by Lawson. Boy, those two bumping and grinding.
Well, it's not often that Lawson finds a guy that's bigger than he is, that's just as quick. And Dowdell gets a little angle. Watch him get a little angle on him. Lawson relaxes here just for a second. And when he turns himself, that first step is able to get by.
Dowdell missed a couple of free throws early in that first half, but he's been on a pretty good roll since.
How about the way he loosens his shoulders right before that shot to take all the tension out.
So we're tied at 76, and now Dowdell has a chance to give the Hokies the lead.
And Miller's been brought into the game probably to guard Dowdell. I think the answer is to put a bigger man on him so he can't shoot over him on those penetrations.
I'm not sure fresh legs really make that much difference when you're that quick. With a little jump hook,
and Washington came down on that ankle.
To Dowdell. He looked at the three.
There's a change of assignments now. It's Miller on Dowdell. Oh,
nice move. Oh! That's goaltending.
That's right. They got it. And they're going to count it as two. Shows you how high Dowdell gets up. Right time this all the way. That was a great pump fake. Look at Wright coming across there. And all the way across the lane. Is Dowdell going to come out of the ball game? He looks like he's a little groggy.
Well, they're going to look at him on the bench. And Virginia Tech leads by 1.
He won't be out long, I can tell you that. That's going to be Collins' 5th.
He's disqualified.
This helps Seth Greenberg in a way because there'll be some time go by here. Gives Dowdell a chance to get refreshed even a little bit more. And that's what Seth Greenberg's trying to do right now, is to take as much time getting that sub in as he can.
Billy, I didn't see the foul. It looked like Collins was trying to hold his position. Doesn't matter. Collins goes out.
You almost would want to use a timeout if you're Virginia Tech here to make sure Dowdell's on the floor for this next possession.
Does look dazed, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Hansbrough 12 of 14 at the line tonight. And misses that one. He's got one more to tie.
Here comes Dowdell. That was good use of the clock by Seth Greenberg.
We're tied at 79, and Dowdell checks back into the ball game. 7th tie of the game.
And what's the assignment defensively? It's going to be Lawson on Dowdell.
1:45 to play. Vasayo penetrates. Possession arrow belongs to Virginia Tech.
Vasayo would like to have that shot back. Boy, he had a good penetration. Look at this, a nice floater. Kind of a quick whistle for a jump there. A new 35 on the clock for Virginia Tech.
Boy, how much is left in the tank for these guys?
And here you have a mismatch right here. Oh, an illegal screen called.
Or did they call it on Lawson? They called a foul on Lawson.
No.
Dowdell's going to the foul line.
No. I think it's a... Let's see. I thought it was called an illegal screen. You're probably right here, Tim. Dowdell is on the line.
Watch this.
It's going to be holding by Lawson, I guess.
Right under the basket. He's got his arm wrapped around him.
Wow, that was a tight one.
So they go over and they explain it to Roy Williams. Georgia Tech beats Florida State Brigham with a big ball game, 28 points, 63-57 Yellow Jackets. Meanwhile, Dowdell at the line to break the tie in overtime. Miller comes back in as Greenberg goes out of the ball game for Carolina.
This young man has played some ball game tonight on both ends of the floor. And when his partner Gordon was quiet, particularly in the second half, he really picked it up.
He's hit 12 straight at the line, Billy. 81-79, Hokies. This is Ellington for three.
White could not get inside position.
65 seconds to play.
Jacquet has come up with some pretty nice moves on the inside, keeping North Carolina off the rebound.
Seth Greenberg was telling his guys, spread out the offense. They thought he wanted a timeout. So they stopped play. Inadvertent whistle.
Good piece of officiating here, though. Giving the coach the benefit of the doubt, but he didn't want a timeout.
It's been a well-officiated game the entire game.
Now he's calling timeout.
JP Lucky now tells us they are calling timeout. 60 seconds to play. Virginia Tech with the lead and the ball and the timeout.
It's Jumbo Shrimp for a limited time, only at Red Lobster.
Virginia Tech leads Carolina 81-79. They're on the brink of stealing one here, Billy.
A terrific performance by both teams, particularly on the defensive end of the floor. I realize we're up into the 80s right now for Virginia Tech, which is higher than they normally score. There's been terrific intensity here. Great rebounding by Virginia Tech.
Tech got a little extra time in their timeout with the confusion. They don't have any timeouts left, though. They've got to be careful.
That was a dangerous pass. Cross court against the trap.
And the shot clock is down to 10. Gordon has been really quiet tonight. Washington. Short. Carolina with a chance to tie or win.
Roy Williams had 2 timeouts left. He's going to take one right here. Well, Virginia Tech got a shot they wanted.
They did.
You've got Washington wide open from the corner. It's a good hit by Gordon. There he is, wide open. Couldn't ask for a better shot. He carries it, the game's over.
It is over. You're right. Now Carolina with the ball.
Well, one of the things
to tie or win.
One of the things that we saw in the last few possessions that North Carolina had in regulation is they worked the ball down. But Roy Williams, I'm sure, was not satisfied in the fact that the attack took place too late. And so remember when Lawson actually ended up taking not an attack dribble at all, he ended up taking just a jump shot. I'm sure Roy Williams this time wants that ball moving inside long before the 6-second mark.
Here's what Virginia Tech has left. They go to North Carolina. Then at home against Boston College and Miami. Then they travel up to Charlottesville. And they play Clemson and Castle.
Now the key right here is who's going to be matched up on Lawson. One of the things that Washington has done a fine job tonight is when Lawson penetrates, he's been helping out. And if I'm Lawson in this particular possession, particularly with Collins out of the ball game, when I start to penetrate, I'm going to go all the way to the basket and look to dish off inside. He's so good at finishing when he does that. There's Charlie Scott over there, a young man that was pretty good at finishing off a lot of things on both ends of the floor.
I saw him finish off Davidson.
Yep. The man that thought he had him recruited, Lefty Driesell, broke his heart for that ball game.
Here we go. 28.6 seconds left. Carolina down 2. Lawson looks inside the Hansgrohe. Oh, if that had gone.
And he had 3 men around him. As I said before, you're not going to take the ball out of his hands. Now watch this, 3 men around him, trying to strip him down low. He's still powerful enough to get that ball up. The key when you're going to double team him is to play position defense. Don't try to strip him.
Well, the foul was on Jamon Gordon. That's his 5th, Billy, so now he's disqualified. So Collins is out and Gordon is out.
All the more reason for Gordon not trying to take that ball away. Take his feet away.
Billy, they let him score there. The game's tied. They have almost 14 seconds left to win it.
And they would have had Gordon on the floor for the last 14 seconds.
Oh, a critical miss by Hansbrough. 21 points tonight for this sophomore. Makes the 2nd.
Okay, now you got to think if you're North Carolina, who are you going to foul?
Here's Vasayo.
You're going to foul Williams. Foul Washington.
Sales. They got a foul. 7.1 left. And Sales will go to the line.
They should have tried to foul Washington immediately.
But Sales only a 44% free throw shooter.
Not a bad pick.
Fouls on Tyler Hansbrough. His 4th.
Look at Virginia Tech. Perfect at the line in overtime. Carolina just 5 of 8. Hansbrough with a critical miss.
Well, still, even if he makes these 2, there's still an opportunity with North Carolina. 7 seconds to go for a 3-point play. But obviously, if you're Sales, even though you're shooting under 50%, these could be critical.
Not even close. Nope. And Seth knows what he's up against and who's at the line. Greenberg goes out of the ball game. And Green comes in for Carolina.
Such a bad shooter. I don't know why Virginia Tech doesn't put guys on the line to rebound.
They're totally in a defensive mode. I agree. Misses them both. Carolina's got a chance to win. 5 seconds left. Lawson. It's blocked. This is no good. Virginia Tech wins it.
Oh, the basket,
But it doesn't count.
Too late.
Oh, what a finish.
Tremendous defense on Lawson. Had him up in the air. That is a great, great win for Virginia Tech.
Here's that last sequence, Billy.
Well, the ball was hit from Lawson. Blocked again. Terrific play there defensively again. The lights on, and even though that shot went in, there's no question it went in after the light came on.
Now, Carolina wanted the foul called because they thought Ty Lawson was fouled right here.
I don't know about that. That looked like all ball. And all ball again. And then watch this great defensive play. Terrific job by Virginia Tech.
What a finish.
Seth Greenberg beats the North Carolina team twice. Home and away.
Well, our Red Lobster, nothing but net, shot of the game. And the story, Billy, has to be the free throws.
Well, free throw shooting because the right man was on the line for Virginia Tech most of the time. But I think the key to the game was Virginia Tech's ability to rebound with North Carolina.
I heard Seth Greenberg tell you if he beats Carolina tonight, he was jumping in the pool in the snow. I heard him tell you that. There's your final score. Virginia Tech 81, North Carolina 80 in overtime. For Billy Packer, I'm Tim Brandt. You've been watching exclusive coverage of ACC basketball on the Raycom and Lincoln Financial Sports Network. So long, everybody, from Chapel Hill.